Chaco Canyon Cultural Center.
Hi, I'm hoping to speak to someone about the theft that happened there recently.
Are you the press?
No, I'm a detective investigating a similar crime in Washington, D.C.
This is Sheila Schultz, the director. What would you like to know?
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from the Beach Hill Museum in Washington, D.C. I understand you had some rare Maya artifacts stolen recently.
That's right. It's a terrible loss, and the police here have no leads.
Beach Hill was robbed, too. We lost one of our prized jade carvings.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I'm wondering if the robberies are connected. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the incident at Chaco Canyon?
Fire away.
I heard the thief left a red handprint at the scene of the crime. Is that true?
Yes. It was very gruesome. It looked like blood, but according to the police analysis, the print was made with a mercuric sulfide paste.
Do you know of any symbolic meaning attached to a red hand?
Don't walk, don't go there, talk to the hand, as my 15-year-old would say? Really, I haven't the slightest idea.
What types of artifacts did the thief get away with?
Only the center's most prized pieces. The case contained 5 pre-Columbian artifacts that were excavated right from this area.
Do you have a list of the stolen pieces?
I know those pieces like the back of my hand. There were 3 pottery pieces, a small stone figurine with a snake head, and an ornamental jade carving.
I'm interested in the jade carving. What did it look like?
It was highly unusual. There was a glyph on it that no one could translate. Until we hired Henrik Vanderheun, that is. His opinion was that it's Mayan in origin, and that it may have been a place name glyph for this area. As you can imagine, we regarded it as something of a regional treasure.
Do you know that Henrik Vanderheun works for Beach Hill now?
Yes, I know. His departure was a great loss for us.
Why didn't you mention the connection when I told you I was from Beach Hill?
I guess it didn't seem important.
Was Henrik still working at Chaco Canyon when the theft occurred?
No. It happened just a few days after he left. I remember because after the police left, the staff and I were so depressed, we went into the lounge and pigged out on the rest of Henrik's farewell cake.
Was Henrik on good terms with Chaco Canyon when he left?
Well, it was awfully abrupt. As soon as he heard about that monolith, boom, he was gone. For some reason, he just had to go study it. We weren't exactly happy about it, but it's not like quitting is against the law.
Do you recall having some appraisal work done by an art dealer by the name of Taylor Sinclair?
How could I forget? He went on and on about the impossibly rare artifacts he could get for us. I said, "Are you an art dealer or a smuggler?" But he assured me that the provenance documents would all be in order. Still, I never did any further business with him. He just seemed slippery.
Could you send me a photo of that jade carving so I can take a look at the glyph?
I'm afraid I sent our only print off to the insurance company. They said they'd return it, but who knows when our claim will be processed. I'm sorry.
I've just got to get my hands on a replica of that jade carving you lost. Do you have any ideas?
Not off the top of my head, but maybe one of my staff will have a bright idea. I need some time to ask around. Can you call back later?
Sure thing.
Feel free to call if you have any more questions.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
I'd like to speak to Franklin Rose, please.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Rose is out of the office. Would you like to try back later?
Sure.
Thank you for calling Boswell, Jackson, and Rose.
Hello.
I should get back to the museum.
Goodbye.
Any news?
I'd better get going.
Keep up the good work.
Rutherford Estate, Prudence speaking.
Miss Rutherford, it's Nancy Drew again. I'm sorry for what I said before. I didn't mean to insult you, but I've got to find out more about the carving you lost if I'm going to have any hope of recovering your necklace.
As I said, this robbery was a trauma for me, and I do not wish to get deeply involved in the investigation. However, the insurance company made this dreadful replica of the necklace with the idea that I would wear such a thing to public functions. Please! But I could send that to you if you'd like.
Perfect. Let me give you the address.
My secretary will have the address of the museum. Now, if that is all you would require, young lady, I will need to attend to other pressing matters.
Thanks a million, Miss Rutherford. I won't let you down.
Call me Prudence. Oh, and Nancy, when you find the villains who did this to me, do me a favor and give them a sound thrashing.
You're coming through loud and clear. Bye. Diego de Landa. I wonder if that's one of the keys.
You have no voicemail.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
I'd like to speak to Franklin Rose, please.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Rose is out of the office. Would you like to try back later?
Sure.
Thank you for calling Boswell, Jackson, and Rose.
This is Joe.
Hey, Joe, it's Nancy.
Hey, Nancy. I've got that slogan for you. Are you ready?
Of course.
Nancy Drew, the ace in every case.
Catchy. I'll make a real impression on my suspects with that line.
How's the case going?
This investigation is stalling. Any thoughts on how to get it back in gear?
Check in with Henrik at the hospital.
I'm sort of stumped by the riddle that Henrik translated from the monolith.
Nancy Drew stumped? I find that hard to believe. What's the problem?
Well, it seems like opening the tomb and breaking the curse are the same thing.
Oh, sure, but how does a person pull that off?
It has something to do with putting these 6 keys together. But there's this other part that says, when the first king, that's Pakal, ascends the throne again.
I hate to say it, but isn't it a little late for that guy? I mean, hasn't it been like 1,500 years? You just don't jump back on the throne after a hiatus like that.
You're being too literal, Joe. It must have something to do with a date, don't you think, Nancy? I mean, when did Pakal ascend the throne the first time around?
I don't know off the top of my head, but the information must be in the museum somewhere.
I'm gonna say June. Sometime in June. That's the traditional month for throne ascensions, isn't it?
First of all, kid brother, June is the traditional month for weddings. And second, the date is not going to be in our Gregorian calendar. It's going to be a date on the Maya calendar, which has a whole different structure.
Frank, you are my #1 favorite know-it-all.
Talk to you later, fellas.
See ya!
Let us know how it's going.
Good afternoon, young lady.
Henrik, I received a note from your friends in Copan. I've got the Copan Fool Key. I still need the Pakal, though. How's your memory?
The tomb. Nancy, I hid the Pakal carving in the replica of the Pakal tomb at the bottom of the temple exhibit. Huh, now how did I think of that? And another thing, you'll need to get past that computer quiz. Sonny set it up with an impossible question. No one knows what Pakal was afraid of, but Sonny was petrified of the Coatamundi. It's an ornery bandit with a narrow snout and a long ringed tail, much like a raccoon or a polecat.
According to your notes, Pakal made a 6-part key to the Whisperer's tomb and scattered the pieces around the world. Do you remember anything about this?
6 keys? 6 keys? 6 keys! Nancy, what are the 4 corners of the world? North, south, east, and west. Plus the first king, Pakal himself, and the Copan fool. When they're all assembled, they open the tomb. Don't you see? This is why I stole the Pakal, to prevent some other schemer from putting the key together.
Do you think I should alert the police?
You must keep this to yourself for now. It's your only hope of getting to the bottom of this.
One of the pieces that was stolen from the Chaco Canyon Cultural Center was a jade carving with an unusual glyph on it. Do you remember translating it?
I can't remember.
You rest up. I'll be back.
I'll do my best.
It's too dark in here. I need a light. Something's missing here. It's locked. Wow, these are heavy. I'm not sure I can hold on to these stones for very much longer. I've got to put these things down. The poem said, when the first king ascends again.